Hello everyone and welcome back to another Division 2 video today with one of the qualification matches for FOB Arena Division 4. So the way it works is you have double elimination, so the Division 4, like all the other divisions, have 10 players max, so some players will have to play qualifiers, and these two are among those people who have to do so. So this is the first round, meaning that the winners of this round, so including the winner of this specific game, will have to play against the other winners, and then the winner from these two games that will result from that will get into Division 4, and then all the losers will still have a chance at this double elimination, and one of them can also secure a spot. So today we do have Witchdoctor here versus Leerio. Leerio, we don't know. I think he's relatively new. Witchdoctor is a familiar face for some of you, as he used to be in the Kingdom of Steel, and I haven't seen him since that kind of died, which is really sad. But I think we're just going to dive right into here. We do have Pancerna versus 20th Panzer, and we're going to look at the decks first as always. And we're going to start with a classic, which is 20th Panzer. So as I said in the more recent cast, I do want to try and focus more on the most important things in a deck instead of just listing everything, because you have eyes. You can see that for yourself. And I think it's probably boring if I just repeat everything that you can see anyway. So we have no recon infantry, which is very odd. We do have a lot of Panzergrenadiers without any veterancy, so this is also a very odd choice, and not a lot of CQC, but range is definitely not going to be an issue. What is also very surprising is, so in the tank there's plenty of Panzer Fools. I think that's not something that needs to be worried about, but I'm missing the IS-2, to be honest, because against a Commonwealth division, this thing is pretty much a hard counter, because unless you get side shots, this thing is pretty much unkillable for them. So, or if you get MP at range, but I mean, then you're doing something wrong with that anyway. But so that's very surprising to me, for sure. We also don't see the support tab is, he brings the classical tools, but not the ones that you usually bring for 20th Panzer, with all the support Panzer 3 and Panzer 4s. At AT tab is very filled, which I think is not really that necessary. But what surprised me most is he doesn't even bring a single Marder. We do have the FK288 though, which is really good because you can use it dual purpose, and we have Panzer Shreks in B-phase, which is an odd choice, but at least you get plenty of them. Commander as well, by the way, in the support tab, which is also interesting for me personally, because there's not that many leaders, but I mean, he has a leader Panzer Force. 88 tab is mostly 88s and then some Flak 43s. I guess he really wants to be able to contest a 2k against the Fireflies and the Achilles that Pancerna gets. Artillery tab, very light actually, with just an SK-18 and the Wolfram, though that is definitely enough for a tournament game. You don't need more artillery than that, in my opinion. Although, then again, some artillery in B-phase, in A-phase would probably be nice. Air tab, he brings a fighter, which is really not that good, single 20 mil. And then a J87 as well as a BF runner. No Chio, which I can very much understand, since there's probably going to be Shermans in Pancerna, and the 50 cals will just easily stop that. Moving on to Pancerna, this one is also very much built towards balance if you look at some of the numbers. Also, not an awful lot of veterans in some phases. So I do have to say, I'm not a huge fan of either of those decks, if I'm going to be honest, and a little bit judgy here. But this one I like a lot more. So in the recon tab, or no, sorry, I need to get used to that. In general, we have not an awful lot of infantry, which is just natural for this division. There's not a ton of infantry to be had, unless you want to take the 4 points, which is of course super expensive. A-phase is going to be a problem though. He only has the one card of Strel CP, and that's really not that much. It's barely anything, actually. But yeah, I mean, there's a ton of armor of different sorts. I'm surprised I didn't take any stewards in the tank tab, because these can be very annoying and useful. Then again, on Tannenberg, I actually do believe that they're not as useful, because it's very linear. So, like, spamming them everywhere around, there's plenty of ways how you can stop them from not that many different angles, and you have long ranges, so you can't really spam them out and overwhelm your opponent like you can on some other maps. We do see Fireflies for the 2k for sure. We do see the Cromwell 7 without any veterancy, which is reasonable, I guess. I mean, the Panzer IV can pen it, but the max Rangers will struggle. However, so will the Cromwell 7, so maybe veterancy would help, but you know, it's definitely a choice that can be made. Same argument here for the Commander, by the way. And then the AT tab is just 2k with 17 models and Achilles, which is an interesting choice. I guess he really plans on outranging his opponent. I personally think that some 6 pounders are really useful as well, but you can definitely do it that way. AA tab, very mobile with just Crusaders. Yeah, that's about it. And then I think a bit of an overkill considering that 20th Panzer doesn't have that much big of an air force. Artillery tabs, sextants, and he brings the artillery observer for the radio, I assume. Or also he doesn't actually have any other recon in AFIS, so maybe it's kind of both. Air tab, the Hurricane. Now the rocket one is actually okay. The Hurricanes in general not that good, but the rocket one actually gets the rockets off sometimes. Spitfire and then Mosquitoes in sea phase. So I guess we're just gonna see him huge armor spam by both sides, and that's gonna be an interesting game for sure. Which we now return to, as always, after talking about the deployment. So let's take a look at that real quick, and then let's head right into the action. So on the left, I'm just gonna put everything down south together. I tried to do it a little bit shorter, streamline things a little bit. So do you have some AT guns down south for, I guess for here then? Just a bit redundant in my opinion, but okay. Just grabbing ground here. Defensive deployment over here. Also very defensive deployment over here. Pack, I guess that's supposed to go like somewhere here. Interesting place for deploying it. Mostly CQC, some Grenadiers. Well, most of CQC, that's just flamers, actually. Up north, we do have something else going here. I don't know what it is. One of these guys. AT to cover that off. Okay. Not really necessary, but you can certainly do that. And, wow. So he's basically giving up on this flank as he wants to go up here, which is really a bad choice because, yeah, if your opponent drives in here, easily gets that. And defensive deployment in the town as well. Witchdoctor brings a Stackhound in also defensive deployment, so no transport sniping by the looks of it. And just some Vickers and Spotters. Same thing for the Center, just one infantry unit and the Staghound. This one a little bit more aggressive, but still not super good. This is a weird deployment of the Staghounds. It can make sense deploying light armor defensively if you expect to rush, but this is sort of an in-between thing, which looks a bit odd. Witchdoctor is doing a classic move of leaving half of the map empty in favor of the rest of it. So we do have quite a bit of armor in the town, which is interesting, by the way. Now that I think of it, Larry doesn't have a single tank for him playing a tank division, which is a very odd choice, and a ton of AT return. Witchdoctor, in the meantime, does the opposite thing. He brings a bit of infantry and quite a few tanks, at least for the beginner, with some Fireflies. He brings AA right from the start. Cromwell, Sherman, Stuarts. A nice bit of recon there for sure. And with that, let's just start. So, I mean, as we said, Leerio is definitely not the most experienced player from what I could gather. Just need to check if the speed was right. And Witchdoctor is probably a bit out of shape, so this is why we've seen the decks, right? It looks a bit odd. But that's probably the reason for that. So let's see how they hold up, actually. Now, the fact that there's AT guns about everywhere can be a problem for Witchdoctor. But I think it's actually going to serve him well, because, I mean, these guys are stationary at the end of the day. And the Pack 4s are not really in a position where they can do much in a town. So this is actually where I would expect the tanks to be performing relatively well. Oh, we have a 7-ton pounder here. So the Fireflies are basically redundant then, in my opinion. But yeah. Now, one of the issues that Witchdoctor has, of course, his transports are slow. That's one of the big weaknesses of Pancerna. Could be worse, but it's definitely noticeable. The other problem is he doesn't have any CQC whatsoever. We have a huge blob of infantry here now. It's actually bigger than I thought when I looked at it first. I can take all of this if Leerio makes a push. Ostrupen trying to hold up the Streltsy. More tanks being called in. All the Cromwells coming in, another Cromwell pushing. if the AT guns get in position at the right moment, this is also interesting. Leerio likes this redundance of AT guns by the looks of it. Light AT gun and heavy AT gun, which is not really necessary. You call either of the two, depending on which is necessary. Osrupen here got forgotten. 2 more Cromwells coming in. Yeah, I mean, if these get into position the right time, they can definitely do a little bit of work. But otherwise, for the most part, I would think that Witchdoctor should be able to just crumble Leerio easily there. His tanks should be able to just push through it. There's also no... He also took the Panzergrens in A phase without any AT, so there's nothing here that can directly challenge these tanks. And Leerio calls in more infantry, which is a very odd choice since actually you probably want to have tanks. Witchdoctor supports with AT. I mean, if there's a lot of AT guns, and he doesn't know that though, so... I was going to say it makes a lot of sense then. But at the end of the day, what you need to keep in mind is that... sorry, I had to yawn real quick. So, I mean, it makes a lot of sense since town fight, he doesn't have a ton of infantry, so... He needs to be careful with his infantry, resourceful, and clear things out as possible with his tanks and artillery, and just use the infantry as kind of shield for his tanks and to spot. And in that sense, it makes a lot of sense. The 45 mils are actually dangerous for the Cromwells, so this is definitely a good call there by Leerio, calling those in. But I would still say that a proper tank would probably not be the bad idea. Especially like something like a T-34 would be good counter here actually for those Cromwells, as these guys can... So Cromwell has a little bit more of a struggle penning the T-34s as the T-34 penning the Cromwells. We do see the pushing continuing. Soon this flag will fall, and Witchdoctor is probably going to get punished for not having any Seekers in A phase. Although Leerio is taking it very carefully. He's making a good call here though by advancing down south. And Witchdoctor has switched these off, which is a very odd choice. I mean, if you bring machine guns, you want to use them to kind of, you know, create the safe zone where your opponent can't really challenge you. Or infantry can't at least. And to prevent infantry from advancing, which is not happening at the moment. So it's actually a really bad call switching these off. I guess he was afraid of them just getting killed off super easily, but if that's a real concern for you, you might want to have some support, some tools that can actually support it rather than this. No, I guess he switched them off now. Or switched on, rather. Tight line for Leerio now with him grabbing this flank. This one will soon follow. The Witchdoctor needs to actually progress here. Leerio has... you know, I think realized that Witchdoctor is strong up north, so he has to be weak down south. But Witchdoctor has not really reacted yet to that. And I think this could have been easily prevented. So one of the issues if you deploy relatively evenly throughout the map and your opponent does not, is that you might not have the forces to do a push because you might have the wrong units, and you might not have... We do have a Hurricane coming in and going for the Ostrup in there. Just an interesting choice, but you can deal with that. This is probably the real price, but I guess I didn't spot that. Hurricane should kill that. Oh, not with the houses. I forgot about that. But yeah, what I was going to say is that, you know, sometimes you just don't have the forces, like the right amount and the right type to actually profit from your opponent's choice of leaving some part of the map relatively weakly defended, whereas he has the necessary force to crush you on the other. This does not seem to be one of those cases though. There's a ton of infantry here, but the tanks should be able to just chew through them. There's not much here that can stop them. Hurricane is going after the Pack 40 over here. We have an artillery observer sneaking through, so that can then provide a radio in the backlines eventually. It's probably not the best spot at the end of the day, but it's a decent one. Firefly could actually engage and chase that Pack 40, or could have. Pack 40 survives with 1 health, which is pretty frustrating. 59 for Leerio now, as he has this flag, this one, and by extension this one, since there's no units that to stop that. Nothing happening right now. BF-109 tries to have a go as a strafer, which is not really a thing that it's good at doing. There's Piet here, just chilling, but Flamer could move forward and probably finish it off. Streltsy now moving in here, 45 mil in a weird spot. It can't really protect anything from here. It's a very odd choice. Saxon is firing at this house, but unfortunately for Witchdoctor, this is not where the Ostrupen are. I just heard some explosion down south. Oh, J87 cluster bomber comes in. Very odd choice, considering that there's AT guns, so it was not really necessary. Spitfire had a go at it, but it's going to get forced off by the 88. So the big problem is now this thing could potentially finish it if it gets on the back, which it does, and it gets a kill. Smoking, very low in health, but still kills the Spitfire. Very bad loss there for Witchdoctor. The Piat now out in the open on its own. I mean, a tank is killed, but again, I think that was I'm very critical today again. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, I mean, the Pack 40 was right there to do the trick. Reinforcement now coming in to fill the gap here, and it should bring it back to 1410. The BF-19 has a go as a strafer. This is the time where you probably want to disengage, because your opponent will eventually bring AA or a plane safe. You just keep circling right in front of his nose. That's a bit risky, unless you want to bait him into your A. Now we do have a tank block coming in, but it's not going anywhere yet. Oh, this flag now falling as well. Staghound having a go against, yeah, this is, you have, because if this is a hill, or you have some weird line of sights into that forest from down here, which is not always clear. Like if you sit here, you can't see the Staghound. If you sit where Staghound is, you can't see that place, but it is what it is. Just have to know. BF-19 is actually out of ammo. No, almost out of ammo. Up north though, we do see a push by Witchdoctor. And 45 mil is now moving in position. This could be dangerous. They could flank these guys. So one thing to remember, guys, is, and I think this shows this very nicely. So Leerio had a very passive, very defensive deployment, and Witchdoctor had, you know, all the armor, but didn't really push with it. So whenever you deploy like this, you wanna make use of the tankiness of your armor, of your speed. You want to make some progress, because if not, if you know, say, your opponent plays very defensively, you will run into these AT guns eventually. So you want to prevent that whenever possible, I would say. But of course, if your opponent does this, you are happy as the passive player, because your opponent plays right into your hands. One of the reasons why, in my opinion, it is always good to have some defensive and some aggression, some defense and some aggression. Like 40 picks up a crumble here. Saxon is going after it. I don't think there's any radio for it. It's moving into radio range. Let's go after 45 mil now. It is out of range for the 45 mil. Just good for the Saxon. Firefly can't spot it, unfortunately, from there. So 59 for Leerio still, or Leerio. Let me know how it's pronounced correctly in the comments if you're watching this. Staghound is in a nice, safe position here, where he can sort of guard when he comes in, but he's not exposed to the AT gun, which is actually a good positioning there. Panzer is now pushing in. There's been no 2K here, despite Witchdoctor having the 2K advantage. Do you have an Achilles now coming in, but it's coming in over here, so this is a distance where the Panzer can actually do something. Being like, I don't know, somewhere down here, you can actually, you know, have a nice defensive positioning without much risk. Better stop to shoot at the pool, because no, look at it go. Look at it go. Oh, Hurricane span up north. The 88, yeah, struggles catching up there. We do have a ton of Panzergrens coming in. This is unfortunately a bit the wrong unit to push here. It was like one CQC unit or two in here. The whole push there is stopped. I think the observers should actually probably spot them. Panzer now coming in as well. One also coming for a ton. So my guess is we trying to sneak through. Oh, but the Hurricane dies. That's the downside of them being so slow. I mean, no, there's multiple downsides, but it's one of the issues. It can actually get killed by it relatively nicely. Panzer are falling back. Why? Did he spot the Achilles, maybe? I mean, yeah, they can definitely kill those. But I'm surprised I didn't push through. I mean, it's maybe for the better, because it doesn't actually have any infantry to cover it off, but Achilles is now going to have an easy time picking them apart from range. It's a very odd choice. I would have probably mixed a recon tank in there, so I at least have some eyes. Achilles trying to find a good 2k position. This is a decent one. This road here is a bit of an issue, but I mean, it doesn't look too bad. Question is, nah, it won't spot the Panzer Freeze and will not be in range for them either yet. Engineers are now coming in. We have reached B phase, so engineers are now on the menu, and Witchdoctor finally gets access to CQC, which is more than Leerio has. Also gets his CQC units in B phase, but he had flamers, so that's that. LCP had actually walked across. Now we're running into the 45mm to Vickers, so that flag should probably fall relatively soon. If they spot the Pack 40, that could be the end of the Pack 42, which would be really good, because then for Witchdoctor, then he can actually start pushing here again, as that frees up some space there. Or Pack 40 finds a Cromwell. Cromwell is trying to respond, but the Pack 40 will probably finish it off after the Cromwell could give up another shot. Down it goes. LCP coming in. Is it out of APCRs? It still has HE. It can definitely defend itself, but it's falling back as these LCPs are pushing forward. Ingenuity slowly coming in. I mean, yeah, you can't react quickly to anything with this division. Surprised that the 88s are so far back. I think that he could like move them forward to contest those Achilles. The 88 will not struggle at all to pen those Achilles. Yeah, the Achilles can shoot back. That's a bit of an issue, of course. Cromwell 7's now coming in, so Witchdoctor is keeping a cool head and is just slowly building up forces here to eventually retake this. The 88 is going to be probably the biggest threat. The Panzer III as well, unless the Achilles can pick them up from range. And then these guys, yeah, these guys can actually be very dangerous as Panzer IIIs. The Panzer IIIs will struggle. We have a Panzer IV blob now coming in up north. I'm seeing somewhat of a pattern here for Leerio. He really likes those blobs of single A units. Incendiaries is slowly piling up. Staying out. Oh, now he's moving though. Guess now he wants to get in a position where he can actually like seal the deal and secure things off. Achilles spotting is something. Panzer Freeze, I guess. Oh, this one is spotted, yeah. The other one's now responding. This one, what can I see though? Oh, the Cromwell. Cromwell's also responding. One Panzer III down. Another one penned. Cromwell down. Cromwell 7's coming in and they're pushing forward. Same with the Achilles. Recon Cromwell 9 for the vision. Strelcipia coming in. BF-109 there. I can't really do much. It's to strafe the Achilles. You can actually strafe open top vehicles with 20 mils, but you need a bit more than that. Crusader should stop the J87, I would think. It's actually a really close call, wow. Medium resilience really does support these things. Ingenuity got now in. 3 of them should probably be able to easily destroy everything over there. Panzer IV blood now just going for a run for the, just having a run for the center. 45mm getting killed off by the Sherman here. The Panzer Grenadier and Panzer Shrek blob though is slowly progressing. I don't think Witchdoctor has noticed yet. Hurricane trying to get in, don't know what he tried to kill, but he got stopped by the 88. Cromwell, another Cromwell now coming in. Cromwell 7. Stackhand spots the... See? Such a weird thing. But yeah, some of these line of sights are really just super annoying. Or Pack 40 might pick up a killer on the Strelcipia. No, it is not in the right spot here. He could have actually rerouted that here to secure that. I guess the Strelcipia is coming in and doing just that. We have now infantry pushing forward. Tank slowly following up. The Pack 40 is going to be a bit of a problem for him. He probably wants to have a support Cromwell in there as well. Pack 40 spots the stack out and wastes an APCR shot on it though. Still going to finish it off easily. Staghound does not have the firepower to stop that. I'm surprised that Witchdoctor doesn't actually push forward. But we don't have a response here by Leerio. He's still having his go with the Panzer IV blob though. There's not much here from Witchdoctor that can actually respond to that. And the problem is like you have to be... This is a place where it's very dangerous to play or very in my opinion, difficult to play around with line of sights because it's you can easily get outrange, but it's also easy to get for your opponent to sneak up on you if you don't pay attention. So you can see here has been defeated. Engineers are now pushing forward 12 with this flag being reground. Soon it's going to be a 13-11. This grab here is still being held. Cromwell 7 has been penned, will probably go down. I mean, there's a lot of Panzer force shooting at it. They will struggle a bit at max range, but eventually they will pen it. Oh, it drives backwards, sideways. So easy targets to be pinned. 17 pounders coming in, but again, oh no, that's way too close. It's probably not even going to get there. That's one of the issues with slow transport, right? You react and then everything happens so much faster than you can react. You have a ton of infantry coming through the center, and most of it is though Panzergrens again, which is useful when you have grabbed this and want to secure, but not before that. Cromwell 7 on the run. Did he spot that? Did he realize back 40? Maybe the Srelkip had spotted it. Did he shoot HE? I think he did. Yeah, maybe open up on this Relsi. Will he kill it? That's just one man. Whoa! That was close. That was close. They could have surrendered it otherwise. Oh, but the Panzer ground blob has been pushing into here. Regrabbing this flag, Relsi are under fire. It's targeted by the Saxons though, not within radio range. Not a 17 pounder coming in. This one's redirect. Oh no, it's not. It is. This is the difference between. No offense, Witchdoctor. This is the difference between a mid-level player and the top players. You do not call in another unit if you already have one. You just reroute it, redirect it. So that's a very important difference. Now the problem is it's easily going to go down. Like if all of those take a shot at it, it will get 2 shots off, maybe 3, and then we'll be dead. Or 2 pinned. That's the other option. It probably can't decide what to shoot at, and it goes down. Yep, there we go. Yeah, the blob is now difficult to stop, because, I mean, the Sherman can't really do it from range. 17 pounder can, but you want to outrange your opponent. As up close. It's an easy... Oh, nice little flanking position. I don't think all of the Panzer force have yet spotted it. Saxons are having their go as well. Unfortunately, they're lagging it behind a little bit. 17 pounder might get another shot off, and then that's probably going to be it. No, he's moving it to safety. I think it would have probably been better to just take his chances and go with it. Firefly coming in. Yeah, that's also a valid answer there, especially because it's mobile, you know. What's the fire rate on the AT shells here, actually? 8 rounds a minute, so not great, not actually that good. I mean, could still use it. The problem is these are now without any infantry support, and they're driving past the Srelkip here. Because otherwise I could have ended very badly. Although these guys, if they're like somewhere here, could easily stop that. But I guess it's going to lose them as they try to drive into the open here. No! Don't do it. Now they spotted it, yeah. But for Leerio, he's grabbing these 2 flags, just barely with his tanks, but he's grabbing them. What did they spot now? I think they're still busy with these guys. 17 pounder has not been repositioned, so he can't actually take shots at it. Yeah, I feel like this is a good example actually of what happens if you let your opponent, if you're just too slow with your plays, and then you allow your opponent to actually build up massive forces. You need to apply pressure and trade so that he needs to use units to fill the gaps instead of doing this basically. Oh, the Piat here could do so well if only it was here. Crusader is going for I don't know what. Saxons. Going for the Panzergren. I'm not really sure why. Crusader's now pushing forward. There's nothing here to stop that. Well, there's not a blob of Panzer force, but I don't think they're in a position yet to do that. Panzer Deck, though, could end that little adventure over there. Spear could have moved over here, did not, though. Firefly now opening up, but no, it's busy with these guys. Oh, 17 pounder here might come in clutch, though. Missing. Saxons are on the run, but they are spotted now. 17 pounder taking shots. Firefly backing off, trying to take shots as well. Saxton, I don't know what it's doing. We do have an encirclement happening here, followed by... Or we had almost an encirclement, but it actually ended up in an encirclement of this thing right here. 17 pounder here brought in as well, taking a go there as well. The Cromwell 7 is actually a great tool to respond to it. 1 section did go down. Firefly and 17 pounder trying to have a go, but 17 pounder is under fire by the Panzergren there. Not a section dead. 17 pounder and Firefly working relentlessly. 17 pounder down. Firefly pent now. 17 pounder and Cromwell 7 taking a go. Wow, what a battle. What a battle. More tanks come in, Cromwells, Shermans alike. Streltsy Piet can't do anything because it is pinned. Panzer IV leader, the only one remaining. What is the Firefly doing? I think he couldn't decide what to shoot at. Cromwell 7 doing what it does best, just tanking. Oh, looks like the thing there went down. The Crusader. Firefly not shooting at anything at the moment. Panzer still sneaking through. Wow, 17 pounder missing again. This Panzer IV leader has been alive for a long time. Finally gets killed off. Back to 12-12. The push down south has been stopped, I think, by the Pak 40 from what I could see. And in the forest here, we had some fights with engineers, but the engineers still stand. I'm gonna actually run out of ammo fighting against all these guys. I mean, eventually they will die, as these guys with rifles and 1 SMGs will do damage still. Just not a lot. Actually, hardly anything, but, you know, it will add up. So Percy coming in as well. We need to double check the load on those, but I think they have some SMGs as well. So even if they run out of ammo, throwing TNTs at these guys, or running out of TNTs, they will still be able to do something. Leerio, though, is up quite a bit in tickets, so Witchdoctor needs to start taking the lead. At the moment, there's more blue than red on the map, though. Dragoni now coming in to seal the gap there. Hurricane trying to have another go, but the 88 is still there. And it's probably going to go down to BF 109. Crusader A has moved down south. I don't think he'll stop it in time. No, it will. This thing's medium resilience has just saved its life. Scout car helping a little bit. Oh, it flew over the Crusader. That might go down now. It's smoking. Will it survive? We have another blob of tanks coming down south. We have 109 going down. Up north, we do have the next blob of Panzer IVs coming in. The blob of Cromwells and Shermans. Now, here's the thing. All these Panzer IVs, Pak 40 is definitely the biggest threat here, but all these Panzer IVs will be stuck firing at the Cromwell 7. It will not survive forever, but it might buy enough time for the Shermans and Cromwells to finish off these Panzer IVs without any issues. A blob of armor now coming in. The 88 is not in a position where it can actually really defend itself super well against them, so that is potentially a problem long term. Tricky getting killed by the Pak 40. These guys just chilling here. Sinusi and Dragoni coming in, driving through. He still needs to clear this out, otherwise they're going to get sniped in the transport. The Cromwell coming in. Sinusi here doing the job. More Panzergrens coming in. Okay, so Leerio, if you're watching this, and I assume you do, since he also... so I saw this replay, wanted to play it anyway, but he also sent it to me and said it was a good one to cast. If you're watching this, do not use Panzergrens in the woods, okay? It's really not a good idea. Like, in the only units that can fight in the woods belong to the woods, and the Panzergrens are not one of them. Up north, we do have a push in by the Dragoni and the half-track, but it's very clearly outnumbered, and it's probably going to get surrendered right away. Panzer could actually claim a 5-lay, but of course he's not in a position where he can see that. Third round for Witchdoctor again. It still has 25 minutes left, so plenty of time to do that. Pak 40 is doing what we expected it to do, but now it's under fire by all the infantry and it's falling back. Achilles trying to have a go on the Panzer IVs. Can he take a shot in time? Probably won't kill one, but... oh, if they stop to shoot at the Strelky Piet. Oh no! Yeah, I know how this feels. This is so bad. This feels really bad. When there's like one unit that your unit gets stuck on and you didn't plan for it, you didn't want it to shoot, but and then you just get picked apart. This one is still having a go, but this time at the Recon Cromwell. Achilles might finish that off as well. No, it will not. 88 is just chilling here. I'm not really sure where he wants it to go. Probably like somewhere over here, which is a decent position. Achilles still having a go. Oh, the ace is coming in. Let's see how long he survives. Aces always die. And there we go. Panzer 4G down, Cromwell 7, I don't know what it's doing. And this is now very dangerous territory for these Panzers, because there's the Piats. Look at that, these guys are actually running low on ammo. Hardly any stands left. About 2/3 through the rifle ammo, and almost halfway through the flames. Just a big tank push now coming in. Very odd choice. So both players are throwing around their tanks without much infantry support, which is very ballsy. I would be feeling very uncomfortable doing so, but so far it's kind of working. At least the infantry, like the lack of spawning with the infantry is not the issue. So it's not been an issue so far, even with this blob right through here. 2 more sections in, by the way, to replace the other ones. A blob of Saperzi and Dragoni coming out. We can actually check now. No. Where's Saperzi? Here it is. Ooh, it's busy. Oh no, it only has Lee Anfields, but it has 1 brand, so that's something. Also, there's a Piat, which is in this area right here, super good. Oh, this is the hill thing now again. Yeah, these guys just easily being able to block off the hill here. But all the Panzer Granates just wasted. Oh, this hurts. We do have Pack 4388s now coming in. 1410 again. I do have to say, this is a Fiesta. It's a nice little change from watching the the top players, which have their very sophisticated strategies, and then we go back to the blob tactics, which is entertaining to watch for sure. And like, it can actually work. Wouldn't be my tactic of choice, but throw a lot of things together in one place. In a place where your opponent doesn't have a lot of things, or at least nothing they can easily, like, that these things can't deal with at all, and it might just work. Wolfram now coming. This is the downside of the blob tactics. There's 1 big blob of blue here, there's 1 big blob of red here. Now the Wolfram comes in and can kill off the whole big blob of red. So very that's gonna hurt quite a bit. Now if Witchdoctor is lucky, most of his units here will already be low on health anyway, and close to be dead, and it won't hurt that much. However, if these guys are there to reinforce it in time, that's gonna hurt quite a bit. Sometimes it just comes down to luck like that. Sometimes you just bring in your reinforcement, and it is exactly then where your opponent's strike arrives without him knowing that. Sometimes it's also not that way. Flaggy grabbed with the infantry going down here, so it's now advancing. Still quite a bit of AT guns and tanks in here, so it's not going to be easy to clear out. Panzer Deck is also still lurking here. Saxons are going after the Pack 40. So Persian and Dragoni are not pushing forward, interestingly enough, even though they could easily move in and finish them. Oh, Panzer Deck is moving in. It's going to get the kill here. That's going to hurt. Firefly is in a nice position to have Overwatch. Or was. There we go. Down the Firefly goes. Still 16-8 for Witchdoctor though. Let's see if we can hold that. It's now trying to push through. The problem with the Ostropen is no AT. And disheartened, so they should easily get pushed off here. Pack 40 fails to pen the Cromwell 7. I mean, the Cromwell 7 is a target that at max range is hard to pen for the Pack 40. You can do it eventually, but it definitely goes. Oh, now the blob of pioneers coming in. Which, weirdly enough, could become a problem for Witchdoctor, because he has sent a lot of his Saperzi elsewhere as well, and he's already, like, been... This should be ensuring for a lot of Panzer Granates. Eventually we'll run out of CQC. Now that's still good news for him though, because Leerio can't have like a lot of infantry left at the end of the day. Oh, Panzer Force trying to engage a blob of 17-pounder Cromwell and Achilles here, and oh, it doesn't end up well. No. Wolfram is in a danger spot. Dragoni could actually move forward and kill that. So as soon as Witchdoctor sees what it is, once it shoots, Dragoni might do just that. 18-6 though for Witchdoctor. BF-109 coming in for the Hurricane, which once again failed to kill. I mean, yeah, if you fail again and again with your planes, you might want to consider using RT first, which is now coming in. Probably going for the A, so that the planes can come back in. Sherman coming in as well. I think Witchdoctor is just sending in units now to it doesn't matter what, to finish what he had started and seal the deal. Wolfram is actually going after what? The half track? I mean, it's gonna give him the flag back, I guess. No, no, it does not. Wow, that hurts. I mean, this is probably the better target. I mean, he has all the pioneers here, but he probably wouldn't need them. Oh, Jade 7 got through. Failed to kill the Fireflighter, so I guess the burst from the Crusader was enough to spread the clusters enough that the Firefly actually survived. Because these things can be deadly, for sure. Now we have a half-track push it back forward. He is not in a position to do anything. Cromwell is on the move as well again. 68 still. Leerio needs to react fast if he wants to somehow turn this around and still be able to win the game. Ostroopman still chilling here, by the way. Saxons slowly arriving. Dragonia now cut off by the Pioneer. They are now moving though, so they will. The question is now, will they spot the Dragoni and shoot at it in time? Or will they... Oh no, the Dragoni actually spots it and gets stuck on it. So he can't move forward to Wolfram. Wolfram is now backing up as well, so Leerio is paying attention and he's realized the threat. Blob of Pioneers. I mean, the Ingenuity can't stop them all. However, if more than one of them throw the TNT and one of the Ingenuity, what's going to happen is the Ingenuity will... Like, one of them will go down, but the other ones will easily finish off the Pioneer. No attack move order being given. More Ingenuity and Subpersi coming in. Slowly getting overwhelmed, though. Let's put also in there. These guys are reloading, so the Streltsy might be able to finish one or two of them off. Alphac now pushing in. Streltsy here in a position where he can still grab the flag. 17-7 as it stands. Saxons going after the Wolfram. They do have... No, I was going to say. Oh no, they do have radio from the recon. But, no, they didn't. But the Wolfram has moved. Panzer Deck still alive here. That could potentially be problematic. I mean, if Leerio really wanted to be really disgusting, he could move like right in here. Of course, it's you know, there's a risk to it as well. You could get spotted, but I think if you walk along these lines, you might be able to be safe. Or if an encirclement happening here, or the Streltsy might get a kill on the Panzer IV. The Ace, though, we have to say, has survived for quite a while. But now he goes down. Aces always die, guys. Remember. Oh, look at these guys. Oh, no. Look at these poor guys. Encirclement happening, but it's a leader there. So it doesn't matter that much, actually. It's now advancing. I think, yeah, it's above 100 meter range. So the Streltsy, although it's SVTs, I think it's going to overwhelm the Streltsy eventually. Another blob of Panzer IVs coming in. Hurricane blob, though, coming in. Yeah. Leerio has left the safety net of his AA and is now paying for it. More Ingenuity coming in wait, what? I have seen that in the past. I think also in a cast. I don't know how it works and when it works, but for some reason you can do that. Let's see if Witchdoctor noticed this. That can be very problematic. Bigger problem for Leerio here is, though, that his leader died. Which means that the bubble is now collapsing. Saxon having a go at the 88, and they do have radio by the looks of it. What is... Oh, this one, yeah. We also spotted something. I guess the Pioneer's over here. 16-8, though. So Leerio has stabilized a little bit, but is still... He needs to come up with a solution in 4 minutes. Less than that, actually, and turn things around, or he will go down. Wolfram Strike going after... I don't know what... Witchdoctor noticed, by the way. Redirect his Ingenuity. These guys are now running back to reconnect with the lines so they can push again. Saxon have pinned the 88 successfully. So that should open our options up for Witchdoctor. However, Leerio is here with a lot of Panzer IVs. And he somehow needs to push through those first. Then again, Witchdoctor is not in a position where he needs to push. So, that's the advantage for him. Now we also see a deck building choice that is gonna come and punish Leerio here. He didn't bring any ammo with the support tab, which means it's all in the artillery. So now he needs to actually buy an artillery gun to resupply his Wolfram. This is one of the reasons why I personally am not a huge fan of this choice. I know that some players do. Koenig most famously in one game brought an IG-33 with ammo in with 122nd infantry, so that he can have ammo, but doesn't need to bring it with the artillery gun, which I'm still shocked by this choice, but it worked out for him. I mean, can't really complain about it. Panzer Deck is on the move. Stopped now again though. Panzer Fours are gonna obliterate this infantry over there. And no tank inside there to deal with that. Now an Achilles is coming in. Yep. Should be able to deal with that. It's going up north there. Panzer IV blob now engaging. Poor what? Yeah. A brave Achilles tried to stand in its way, and that did not go super well for it. 17 pounder though. I think it's going to share a similar fate. It just there's a Dragoni in here though, so that could potentially turn things around there a little bit. So far, only one Panzer IV spots the thing, though. 88 or Pack 40 just finish off one of the Cromwells. Oh, Dragoni is going after this. I think it was the Pack 40. Another Cromwell sitting here. 17 pounder on the fire. Another 17 pounder engaging. Cromwell 7 here as well. Panzer IV blob. Now backing off. Probably the right decision. But the problem is Leerio still needs to turn things around somehow. Another full row of infantry coming in. Ooh, that's not gonna end up super well. Cromwell 7 pushing forward, actually trying to punish Leerio for his push. Might get punished himself by the 88 over here. No, that one's still busy shooting at the Dragoni. The other one just went down. I think also the Dragoni. Flag still held though. More units are coming in. More Shermans and Streltsy for the center. The center has actually been nicely pushed back. Oh, look at that. Look at that row of Panzer Gren. Oh no. Oh no. Cool guys. I feel like we have some Soviet tactics here. Soviet tactics here on the left. Streltsy and engineers are now slowly clearing this out. So Percy just chilling in here, holding that flag. Once Streltsy appeared here, actually pushed through. Competing with the 88. Maybe is a bit too hard for it. This 88 for some reason can't see it. Interesting. I mean, if the PA rifles get close, they can definitely do it. But I think they're gonna get finished off by the 88 before that. This 88 might actually be able to surrender them. That would be funny. Just needs to be a little bit closer. Panzer III Force decides to have another go. Cromwell 7 here getting spotted out by the 88. Oh, Cromwell 6. I think it's the first time we see actually a support Cromwell here. Finishing off that Pack 40. Or trying to at least. Oh, wow. There's another one over here. And the full blob getting absolutely obliterated. The 88 spotted something but lost line of sight. The infantry blob has arrived but is not in a position to do anything. Just Q moving through. Yeah, that's unfortunately not really going to work out probably. 88 still there. Still be able to force the Hurricane off. Or maybe it's also more this one over there. Saxons are went for it, but now going after the Pack 40, which is about to finish what off? The Cromwell 7? And before now, I was just about to claim another victim, but the game has ended with, I think, Leerio bleeding out. I don't think he's rendered. Not 100% sure. Let's look at the stats. Yeah, very clear out rate here by Witchdoctor with around 900 points difference. Pretty significant, I would say. And if you look at the start, yeah, I think we can clearly see it as a very slow start. But even that very slow start went relatively well. Like the A phase went very well, considering the little action that we had. That part that we had was going well for Leerio, and then it was even-ish, but he was slowly getting outtraded by the looks of it by Witchdoctor. And yeah, he had his comeback moments definitely, but so did Witchdoctor, and eventually yeah, Witchdoctor could just push through. I mean, this is the problem if you do these like wave tactics. Like, yeah, you have a basically invincible wave, but you first need to push through everything that you kind of lost, because while you wait to get up your next wave, your opponent can grab a lot of ground. So this is one of the issues that we've definitely seen here. Interesting enough, the Hurricane killed something. The Chariot 7 didn't even notice that. Achilles doing this thing. Yeah, yeah. That hurts, but we saw that. Infantry in the center was absolutely going crazy. The Firefly, I think that was one of the ones that was stopping the Panzer full blob at, like, in the north. Achilles, again. Strasipia, wow, I didn't even notice which Strasipia killed that many Panzer IVs. I've kind of noticed that. Not Achilles doing well, 2 of them actually. On the losses side, Pack 40, the one, I think that was the one on South that actually did really well. Another Pack 40 also doing quite well. And another one. So these actually paid off quite nicely for Leerio. And some of the Panzer IVs actually did do some killing as well, but just not enough. Yeah, there's not that many of those Panzer IVs that actually did super well, which is very unfortunate for Leerio. But yeah, that was definitely an interesting game, a massive fiesta. But it was enjoyable. Hope you enjoyed it too to watch. Have a great day and see you all in the next one.